Hello and welcome to my introduction to the basics of glass gilding. I've put this tutorial together just to show you the very tools I use to achieve beautiful gilds, and I want you to achieve those gilds as well. And so in this video I will show you each of the tools and products that I use on a daily basis in my gilding work. So here we are, this is the gilding tools. Now this is pretty much all the tools that you'll need to go forward in successful gilding. I'm just going to take you through the water gilding stage on the background of all these products really, and show you where I start with cleaning the glass and taking it right the way through to laying the gold leaf and even sharpening the knife, the gilder's knife itself. So to start with, the cleaning, there's various products out there. Bonami is pretty much the traditional American product. It's hard to find these, but you can sometimes get them on eBay. But if you can't get it, if you can try and look for these, brilliant. If not, the same sort of product is the French version. There's another version as well, but I just wanted to give you a little breakdown of some of these cleaning products that you can use. You're going to do this here. This shows you a little sponge inside as well, so you can get a nice slurry with this, build it up, clean the glass, give it 2 or 3 coats, and clean the glass right up with this. And this is also very handy for removing the excess gold once you've backed up with the Nasdar ink. So this is good. Yeah, so that's really good for just using it for the cleaning, the cleanliness of the glass itself. You really want it nice and clean, so that's great, that is. Burnishing or cleaning the actual glass, and just removing dirt and what have you, cotton walls there, even a tissue, an ordinary paper tissue, which is a kitchen tissue. That's all you need. Try and get the ones, this one has actually got a bit of blue. There's sometimes a little stain on some of these ones, you can see. Sometimes you can get the white ones. There's no other colour to it, but just ordinary tissue for just cleaning the glass. That's all you're going to need. Coming on to the gelatin, I always use the leaf gelatin. It's on most of the stores around the world, Walmarts or whatever food stores. It's a leaf gelatin. And I only use around about 3 to 4 diamonds in the pint, but I just wanted you to see that you can buy it, and you want to try and keep it as fresh as you can. When I'm not using this, I'll keep it in the fridge, and you can hear that crackle on there. That tells you how fresh this is, and they should actually split as well. Sometimes I have to just, there you go, that gives it nice and sharp breakage, and that's because it's nice and fresh. So you only need the 4 diamonds, and away you go. So that's a great product. They used to use capsules back in the day, but then you can still find those capsules. But this is great. It's cheap, a couple of pounds. That's all that is, and it lasts. There's 8 leaves in there, so that's great to go with using that for the gelatin for applying the gold to the glass. Vaseline. You can use a Vaseline or an oil. That's just a small smidgen of Vaseline that goes onto your hand, just to lift up the gold leaf when you come to using the gilder's tips. And that, again, is all explained in the courses that I do. But this is all I use. This is all I've ever used. And back in the day, the old guys used to put the Brill cream through their hair, and that's when you'd see them using a gilder's tip and taking this tip through their hair and kind of charging it with the Brill cream. Really, it was never static. It's always been charged with a material, but or a product like this. So Vaseline, that's handy to have as part of your kit. Isopropanol. I'm jumping back and forward with some different tools here. Isopropanol, I use this just to clean the tool, the actual knife itself, to get any dirt or any grease off the actual gilder's tool, and that's really handy to have. So look into that. It's flammable, be careful, but it's just one of those things that I've used to really clean off the oil off the actual edge, or the knife edge of the actual the gilder's knife itself. And it comes in handy for other things as well. Coming into cushions, now a gilder's cushion, you go to a gilder's supplies and you literally just ask, and they usually come with a parchment which is around the back just to protect any wind or any breeze moving the gold around. So I usually take mine off because you're working inside the studio. I usually cut mine off, but it's entirely up to you. So these come in various sizes. These ones I bought these ones from Handover Brushes and Gold Leaf Supplies. But any gilding supply company will store gilder's cushions, so that's not a problem at all. One of the main things, obviously, gold leaf. I'm getting some really amazing gilds with gold leaf supplies. They're standard 23 carat, really, really good. This is a loose gold, and you can get it in a transfer leaf as well. But for glass gilding, we always used to use like a loose. Have a look, come further back. It's one of the ones I've used already. A loose gold, which is lovely to use. It doesn't leave any blemishes. There's no markings in the gold. I've always found that it gilds beautifully, so that's really good. Again, there's other suppliers around the world that you can use, but that's brilliant, really, really good. So the other part now is coming on to. I'm going to sort of talk about the gilding tip in a second, but first of all, I'll come on to the knife. Standard gilder's knife. This is really great. You know, you kind of want it to balance. It usually balances so it doesn't touch the other side. So it's the handle that's slightly heavier. You can see that there. So that's a great knife. And then coming into, I like to keep it sharp. Some people like it a little bit duller, but I like it really sharp. And I sharpen mine occasionally using an ordinary standard kitchen you know, sharpener, and this is for like people that are using it for literally for roast dinners and whatever, for the kitchen knives, and you can use it on these, and they're really good. Give that maybe 3 or 4 times a go on the actual blade itself, and that comes up lovely. And then I'll usually then take it into a ceramic knife, and you can see with these ceramic knives, you go from the front, the back, and this will just take it down even smoother and get it down really well. And take any burrs off afterwards as well with that. So that's lovely, that can be used. But if you really want to come to sharpening, I even bought one of these pro sharpeners, and you can use the oil stones as well, but this is a great little tool for really sharpening the knife, bringing it right the way through and taking a few shots of that, and you get a really sharp edge. But it will leave a little burr, where that's when you can come in and take that off and make it a slightly smoother and get it to a point where it's really, really sharp, and it's lovely. You want that leaf cut in just beautifully, and it'll give you a nice edge for when you come to laying the leaves. So, you know, that's something to look at and think about if you want to sharpen your knives a little bit more. There's another knife which I was put onto by a friend, and Joe Bellabusco put me onto this. It's a really nice knife, and I've used it quite a bit as a book knife, and it's a lovely little tool. It's the end that you're going to kind of use. When you look into this, this is explained on some of my courses on how to use it, and it's a great little knife, and just by using the tip of it, you can just cut some nice small little pieces and get away with quite delicate little bits of gold leaf that you can apply to patching it in on the glass, or full leaves as well, you know. But a great tool, and I'm really impressed with this little tool. It's really good. So there's that as well. A couple of choices there, and again, gilder's knives. There's so many different ones out on the market. You don't have to just go for the standard ones. You can look into different companies, and you've got some great ones out there. Obviously, different prices as well on the quality. Right, coming on to gilder's tips, standard gilder tips I'm using. No different to any of the tools out there. This one's a Colner, I believe this one is. This is a really lovely tip. That's a great one, and it's just for half leaves, or even for full leaves you can use it, but I use this one for half leaves. And this nice little tool by a friend of mine called Patrick Pasquale Artist. He's on Instagram. He sells these nice little handles, and you've got a bit more control placing the leaf there as well then. So if you want to use that, there's another way of doing it. So coming on to the mesh tips now. These are the bumpy jam tips. They're great. Fixing up, you know, full leaves. If you don't fancy putting on full leaves with these smaller tips, you can have a go with this, and these are very reliable to get some really good precision. But the more you practice, you can put them on with these ones as well. But it's a great little way of doing it. And there's other ways of putting on the leaf, and again, that's all explained in some of my online classes. But this is just to show you through the, you know, the tools, the basic tools that I use every day for gilding to get me the best results. And these are great tools, they really are. Again, I'm working from the bench, so you know, you can either, if you're on site, a lot of gilders use a gilder's pot, and you know, that's fine. But if you're gilding within your studio, I just use a jar. It's simple, keep it really simple. I mix up the water. There's a pint there marked. That goes in there. Bit dirty at the minute, that one is. But clean that right out, and then you've got a nice mix of a pint of deionized water. This is what I use. This is the water that I use every time. And it's basically, this is like a battery for battery maintenance, and steam irons it's on there. So try and get this type of stuff, and that gives me a great gild every time that does. There's a smaller pot to just decant it as well. Also with the gilding, I tend to sometimes use, it's called Dawn Ultra, which is a couple of drops of this in the actual size. Really helps that it flows down the glass, and it stops the size from sissing or from blotching out. You know, it doesn't dry up. You've got a really nice flow of size that runs down the glass, and it holds itself there. It gives you a nice sheet of liquid to apply the gold to. So I use a couple of drops of that, and that really works really well. Coming back onto the paints, I want to just take you through the Nasdaq ink is important. I use this. They changed it recently, Nasdaq did, but you can still buy it in different countries. America's still got this product. The UK have come up with their own product as well, but it's kind of sold out of Hanover brushes in London. But again, the American side have got theirs as well. I believe Leatherhead Supplies in the States has got some of their own product going there. Some of the traditional material, but this works really nice. It's pretty tough. And that's a key thing, that you've got to get it on the back of the gold, get a nice thick layer down, and then it'll last, and you know it'll stand up to the scrubbing of the brush that we use, and with the Bon Ami. So this is essential that you get the right product that for the back of the gold leaf for painting that as well. So there it is really. Come on to cotton wool. The cotton wool is for burnishing, and it's a pure cotton wool. I use that sometimes, or you can use this lovely little velvet pad. This comes with the Gilding. I didn't talk about the Gilding mop, the water size brush that I use. This is lovely. This is by the Goldfather based out in Chicago. This is really, really nice, and it gives it a love. It's just a really well made product. It really is. It's a great tool. And he also sells these, and also does Bumpy Jam as well in the UK. But the velvet is there for burnishing the gold up, and it's lovely. It really is. It burnishes it very, very well. I'm really, really happy with that. If I haven't got one of these on site with me or in the studio, I'll be using some pure cotton wool, and that's really good. But you've got to be a little bit careful. You don't want to get it too scrunched up, and too many times you sort of start to burnish, you'll start to pick up little bits of gold, and you can start to scratch your own work. So you've got to be careful with that. But they both work great, and I've always been happy with this over the years. So there's the tools. One thing I want to carry on with talk about now is the easel that I use. And you can see, before I go onto the easel, you can see a lot of the techniques in these letters where the mirror gold is being used here. I've done it on the outlines. Obviously there's abalone in there, oil gilding and what have you as well, but these are the tools that you can use to get these effects, and this is all you need as a setup. So it's not too bad, and again, you don't have to get all this sharpening stuff. You don't have to. These tools come pretty much well sharpened, and they'll last you a long time. It's just that occasionally I like to get it a little bit sharpened, and that's why I invested in just a few of these. But you know, for £15, again £15, this might be about £30. That's really great tools that are a lifetime. You know, they're going to last. You're going to always use those. So it's not a waste of money. You're going to really, you know, put some money into your products and look after everything. That's the main thing. But yeah, there we are. I think that covers all of the tools really. And I'm just going to take you through and show you the little easel that I use as well. So here we are with the easel. Now this was just an easel I bought on Amazon. You can buy these from different brush companies. Hanover Brushes sell them as well. But it's just simple. There was a piece of wood going down the centre. I took that out and I've put a piece of glass there. So this is all this is a piece of glass. I've double side taped it, and that sits there. And then you can put the letter against it, because we're just working on small letters. That's all we're doing. And you can put that against. You can make this bigger if you wanted to, but this is ideal. You know, I can put it back at an angle. You can go do what you want with it really. I like to keep it a little bit more upright. But it works, it's great. I fixed it to the bench as well, so that's dead solid. And it stays there. All the water size runs off it nicely. You can catch it at the end with a sponge or whatever you want to do. You can even have a little trough underneath. But this is just a great, simple little setup. And like I say, £25, £30, you've got yourself an easel and you're ready to go. So there we are. That's the best way to, if you can, and you're in your studio, this is the best way I found to gild letters or gild pieces of glass. And it's just a standard, like I say, standard easel. And as I say, if you're keen to learn more about this beautiful craft, please check out some of my online classes that will take you from beginner to professional with really simple step-by-step lessons, and all this at your own pace and time. You really will enjoy this craft.